Hey, hey, hey. All right. I am totally jacked up and excited to be here with you. Want to push a few buttons. And so hopefully I have your full permission to push some buttons to actually get some results. So I actually just did this conversation in another group of mine and it went over so well. I was like, I have to bring it to you guys. I can't just keep it inside that group. So I'm going to have a tough love conversation with you and it's going to be all about you. And we get really uncomfortable about talking about us. So I encourage you to hang with me. If I say something that maybe rubs you the wrong way for a minute, hang there for a second and then really kind of ask yourself, did I rub you the wrong way just because you just like got your feathers ruffled? Or did I rub you the wrong way in the right way that actually inspires a mind shift here in the next few minutes, okay? So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Erin Moore. I'm the founder of Success with More Nutrition. Used to be plus size clothing, now down to a 2-4. Did it before and after babies. And my whole thing is we overcomplicate, the lights drive me crazy, that we really overcomplicate this healthy thing. Overcomplicate a lot of things. And so I bring it to you to break it down, to keep this whole healthy thing simple. And today we are going to talk about health, but really it's all about you. And health is going to sprinkle in there because it's in the importance of you, right? So one of the questions that I have is, typically, especially as women, we just like give and give and give and give and give in every facet of our life. And really, at the end of the day, like this is a particularly hard conversation for us to hear because I'm going to tell you to cut it out. And so hear me out, right? If I just rubbed you the wrong way, hear me out. So, but one of my questions I have for you, let's see, I wrote it down. Are you just showing up for life? Like, are you just going through the motions, showing up for life? You're busy giving to other people. You're taking somebody to soccer practice. You're running this errand for this person. You're showing up for work, but you're like, have no joy in it. You're doing this for your spouse or whatever, right? We're giving, but are you just showing up for life, but not truly enjoying and living life? It's time to change that. And so it's really interesting. What's really interesting is, so one of the elements I'm going to talk about is maybe you're making some time for yourself, right? And so for many years, I've been on this journey, but I got real serious about a year and a half ago that my time was my time. And in that time, I do things like grow myself spiritually, emotionally, all these things, right? And so it's interesting that within the last few days, I've had two very, very, very different people. If you've ever heard of either one of these, like go ahead and put their name in the comments below. But they're both motivational speakers. One of them for sure is an author that you might have heard of recently, but they both had a very similar message, and that's intertwined with what I'm going to talk to you today. So I was listening to Les Brown. So for those of you who don't know Les Brown, he's a black man, older age, came from the foster care system, was adopted with his brother when he was a young age, and always gives all his credit to his mama, the lady that raised them, right? I mean, think literally like they got dropped off at a doorstep kind of a thing, okay? This back in the day, and those kind of weird things can happen, right? And then we have Rachel Hollis, who many people would know by, she's the author of Girl Wash Your Face, and then just came out with Girl Stop Apologizing. And so she's like this younger woman in her 30s, has kids, husband, entrepreneur, like all this good stuff, right? So, but they both do public speaking, motivational things and stuff like that, but very different backgrounds and lives, right? And both of them in their message about taking care of yourself, the key thing, and I'm actually going to read a tough love message from Rachel instead of it just coming from me. She wrote, if you are not taking care of your physical body, there is 0% chance that you're going to be the version of yourself you want to be. Holy moly, who just felt a little bit slapped in the face? I take care of my body, and I felt a little bit slapped in the face when she said that, right? So when you start to think about it, though, Les Brown says it a lot nicer, but this is the basis of what she just said. Health is all you've got. your health is all you've got. So this whole thing isn't going to be specific on health, but it's going to be specific on you. But we had to start with the base of health really is all we've got. Think about it. Like if we're not taking care of us, where are we ending? 6 feet under the ground, right? If we're not taking care of ourselves, we're running ourselves so rampant and so crazy that all anybody ever sees and feels from us is the crazy when we're trying to just pour and give life into them, but we can't help but hide the crazy. Like we feel out of control and that spills over into our life in one way or another, right? So back to the question, like, are you just showing up for life? Let's change that. And let's change it today. It takes time to develop habits, but let's change that today. So as I'm rocking and rolling, I want to go over some stuff with you. If you're tuning in to me for the first time and you're still hanging with me, right new, I want to say hello. As of course, if you're watching live or pop on later for replay, you know the drill. Like say hi, maybe where you're watching from. I want to say hello back, and it's just always nice to see who's there, but feel free to give some likes, some loves, and actually comment back with me if this resonates with you. I want to know, right? So are you wishing things were better, or are you expecting them to be better? They're very different. When we expect it, we drive for it. When we're wishing, it becomes that someday. And back to like us being like the women, right? Who drive for everybody else, who give for everybody else. Really, all of our goals completely go on the back burner. Completely. We come in dead last. And so, I think it was Rachel Hollis that was giving this example, who shared this example from somebody else who shared it with her. Here's an example of, think of a glass vase, okay? Here's your glass vase and a pitcher of nice, clear, pure, clean water will consistently and constantly be poured into your glass vase. So this isn't going away. This is going to be constant. It's going to pour in everything that you need. Love, joy, hope, happiness, nutrition, fitness. Is pouring in everything you need, right? That sometimes we struggle with, but all the things that we as females especially need. And what do? We've got this empty vase. This thing's pouring in constant flow of awesome goodness. And we give and give and give from this vase. So we're tipping the vase so that we can pour into our kids. We're tipping the vase so that we can pour into our spouse. We're tipping the vase so that we can pour into our friends. We're tipping the vase so we can pour into church, community. You fill in the blanks. Where are you pouring, right? All the while, we're tipping the vase. What happens when the vase tips too far? It's a glass vase. What happens? It breaks. I am going to go out on a limb here and guarantee that every single person listening now, listening later, listening ever, seeing this message ever, that is above the age of maybe 8 has broken their glass. We tip and we break our glass, and then we're shattered, we're broken. How the heck can we keep tipping and filling into anybody? Because we're a hot mess. So we end up like in our face down in our pillow for days, months, years, whatever. We're broken and shattered, okay? What happens if we flip this switch? What happens if we let the vase stand tall and proud? Tall and proud. Margot, Helen, Melissa, I see you. Thanks for joining and saying hi. What if we let our vase stand like this and the constant flow of water goes into the empty vase, and we don't just start tipping to pour all the goodness that's being poured into us out, but we let it fill. In the group that I just did this in, I stopped for a moment. So give me a moment and don't sign off yet. Give me a moment and just close your eyes just for a moment. It was so cool to do this. So even standing here on camera, doing this with you, it's powerful. Close your eyes and imagine literally right above you that water, that nice, clean, pure water just being poured into you. Stay still. Like you can almost feel it. Like your body starts to tinge. You can feel something different. It's pouring into you and you're just letting it flow in. You're staying still. Like I almost want to cry. like I can feel it, right? What happens if we just let that water, you can open your eyes if you want, or just continue to just let that water pour in. What happens if you let that water pour and pour and pour and fill the vase? Then, so it's not like fill my cup so I can fill the cup of others. Because when we go fill the cup of others, we're pouring, right? This is this vase now, this glass vase, that if we tip it and pour in everybody else, we shatter and break. But if we just let it fill, just let it fill. Take your time letting it fill. My message here, but I'm going to go into this health stuff too, is let yourself have your time for you. Because now we're going to fill it. And then what happens? It's a constant stream. Now it's overflowing. Now is their image of the cup overflowing. But it can't overflow if you're tipping to give. It can only overflow if you stand strong and still in your power, in your greatness, in what you stand for what you're doing for you. You want to take care of your body? Don't waver. You want to go for something new at work? Don't waver. You want to go climb Mount Everest? Don't waver. You want to write a book? You want to, whatever those things are, let it fill you so that then it can overflow. And then guess what? When it overflows, then the family gets their piece. The husband, the spouse, the whatever gets their piece. The community gets their piece. The church gets their piece. Whatever you want to give to gets their piece. And none of it's coming out of your cup, but it's coming from what's being filled out of the vase. The glass vase. Stop tipping your glass vase. Okay? So Les Brown, health is all you got. Rachel Hollis, straight, mean almost. Like, if you don't take care of your physical body, you will not get the true greatness of what you're trying to achieve. So it's not selfish, and it's time to stop going, but I don't have time. It's time to start going, well, it's a lot of work, and I don't know if getting healthier or being smaller or whatever is worth it, because right now you can still give. Right now, you can still physically do things you want to do. Right now, you're still on this earth. But we love to say, later, later, later. When the kids aren't babies anymore. Well, when they start preschool. Well, when they graduate. Well, when they do this, right? For those of us who have kids. It's always later. I work with so many people who are now empty nesters, that it's like, now is my time. And if you are an empty nester and you're feeling that way, it's time. But if you just had a newborn baby, or you're not even like baby land yet, now's your time. Think about all the things that you can give to everybody else because you put yourself first so it can overflow. Your health is all you've got, Les Brown says, and he's so right. You can eat super healthy and you're still not guaranteed tomorrow. But how many more tomorrows are you attempting to guarantee for yourself so that you take care of you? I have a free class that breaks it down on how to help basically take the overwhelm out of healthy. If you don't have that, if you haven't done it, take 1 hour for yourself and do that class. Put yes in the comments below. I'll send it over to you when I'm done with this. Okay? Straight yes. Free class, but don't just sign up for it. Actually make time. It's coming up to the weekend. Where in the next 4 days can you take time to watch something that will actually help you start to put elements of being healthy in place without it seeming so insurmountable? That's why it's scary for us, because we think it's so insurmountable. So take baby steps. But so my big thing here is not so much on the health, but this might fit into the hour that I'm about to talk to. Les Brown says at least take 15 minutes every day, starting now, starting today. It is time for you to stop being what he calls a sacrificial lamb. A sacrificial lamb who gives to everyone else except yourself. And guess what happens to the sacrificial lamb? We won't go there, but you got me, right? So don't break your vase is what we're going to go back to, okay? So 15 minutes. And so Rachel does the same message, and she's a tough lover, a bit more than nice little less. And she says, if you don't have an hour to give to yourself every day, you have no life. I said I might rub you the wrong way. Those aren't my words, but we all need to sink them in. You can get pissed, but it's true, right? It's true that you haven't made an hour for you, but you make it for everybody else. Everybody else. So whether that's getting up early, which everybody, or staying up later, or really taking a look at who's taking who to what game, to what practice, to what whatever, who's running who where, who's doing what's going on in the day, what you're doing at your lunch hour, whatever. Reassess what's fit in that box. That's just become norm. That's become habit. Where can you move some things so that you, not selfishly, but selfishly take time for you so that you can have a compounding effect on not just those right around you, but my goodness, how is the cashier's life going to change because you weren't cranky and rude and you were this happy smile of sunshine because you took time for yourself? So it's a ripple effect way more than you ever could imagine. Ever. I started doing this seriously about 1.5 years ago. And it took some time. I got up early and then I had to remind myself why I was doing it, because it's really easy when you're doing it out of your own free will to get up early to remind yourself like why you want to put this in place, right? And then I was getting up early, and my husband already gets up really early, and he decided he wanted that time to talk or to try to do husband and wife things or to try to do something, right? He want to occupy my time. And I had to have a couple of different real talk conversations with him like, hey, like I love you, but you need to act like I don't exist. Like I am getting up early specifically to carve out this time that's for me, however I want to use it, whether I'm going to work out, whether I'm going to read a book, whether I'm going to spend some time with God, whether I'm going to write a journal, whether I'm going to do whatever. Put on some music and rock it out. But it's you time. It's uninterrupted you time. You start doing that with what Les Brown said, 15 minutes at least. Rachel challenges you to do an hour. Real talk, an hour. Find it, make it your own, right? And watch what changes in your life. Because here's the thing, if you dedicate yourself to one thing, watch all the other things rise with the tide. You can't. Anytime that I've gotten real serious about working my plan, whether that was a new meal plan or a new workout plan or a new business plan or a new whatever, anytime I have something and I'm like, just like focused. It's not that I'm so focused that everything else around me now falls apart. I am so focused at making this area of my life better. It's amazing how this area, when you're focused on making your life better in that one focused area, other areas rise up too. You can't not start to maybe meal prep and then decide that maybe folding a couple extra pieces of laundry like sounds good, or like you're motivated now, right? So other things change. If you know what I'm talking about, say I know what you're talking about, right? And it's easy for us to forget, but you can maybe think back if that's not currently happening for you. And anytime you implemented some new regimen, some new routine, everything started to raise up, okay? So that's what I'm encouraging you to do. Take away the overwhelm of getting healthy. If you haven't done that free class of mine, put yes. That's step number 1. Because Les Brown and Rachel, 2 walks of life, both say health's all you got. You must take care of that first, okay? But then put in your hour. Put in your hour. You can start with the hour of the webinar or whatever you want, but put in your hour. Put in your 15 if you got to baby step it. Start somewhere. But if you are giving yourself 0 time, 15 minutes you owe yourself. You can give yourself 15 minutes. We can make time for everybody else when everybody else around us has a crisis. This is your moment of crisis because your vase is going to slam on that ground and you are going to end up face first on the ground. Don't let your vase tip anymore. Let it get filled up. I hope that you can just stop in those moments of overwhelm and maybe just do this exercise that we did here that I cut way shorter because I'm on a live video. But just sit there and really be the vase and feel the water. If you're sitting in your car and you're upset or something stressful happens at work or your kid's just driving you out of your mind, like I'm a mom of a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, I don't know all about like hiding in the closet or locking yourself in the bathroom just to have like 2 seconds of peace. Maybe do that exercise or just feel the vase get filled up. So guys, again, I'm Erin Moore. I'm the founder of Success with More Nutrition. Plus size clothing down to a 2-4, and it really comes down to let's take care of ourselves. Let's band together as women. Let's take out the overwhelm over this crazy health thing because we create it to be some. I talked about climbing Mount Everest earlier, right? This could be your own Mount Everest. We talk ourselves into it being so huge and so many sacrifices that need to be made, and it doesn't have to be that way. I drank my beer and my wine, and I ate my pizza, and I love my brownies and my ice cream, and I still lost the weight. Over 60 pounds of weight. I did it several times before and after the babies. You can too. So yes, in the comments below for the free class. And then I want to hear from you. What is it that you do today, tomorrow, this weekend to fill your 15 minutes or the hour? What are you doing? I want to hear back from you. You can put it in the comments here. You can private message me. I want to know, what are you doing because you saw this video that you're going to take time for you? What'd you fill your space with? It could be coloring. It could be just sitting in peace and drinking tea. It could be whatever. It's you. So it doesn't matter what anybody else might post on here or what your best friend Sue, Sally, Bob, whatever does. It's you. It's your time. What do you want to do with your time? And start making a daily ritual habit. All right, so Melissa, Helen, Margot, I said hi. Helen again. Margot, yes. So I'll get that over to you guys. I know some of you will catch it on the replay, so say replay. Again, if you're brand new, put new. I want to say hi to you. All right, bye, and just remember, keep healthy simple. Bye-bye.